Back, folks, for round 3 today. We are going to refine our fishing sinkers. Now that we have them painted nice and pretty, we have our freshwater and our saltwater colors. And yeah, now we just have to get those to a final size so they fly through the air when you're throwing them with your rod. So we're going to knock those out real quick, and we might do some other stuff after that, but got a big pile of those to finish up first. So finishing up my coffee real quick. So then we'll get to it here in just a minute. Hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. Of course, if you're on YouTube, you can go and visit me on Twitch right yonder way, where you can see more of what's happening with the better view. Not necessarily a better camera, but you can see more of the bench and the press and the so on and the so forth. But here on YouTube, we're just playing with fishing sinkers. Earlier today, we were casting in the garage. We came back for a powder coating session. And now we're going to get them to their final diameter so that we can use them in the proper environments. And yeah, how about that? Ooh. So anyways, make sure to say hey when you stop in. Did I mess it up? Okay, good deal. Anyway, yeah, just finishing up some coffee real quick, and then we'll get to it. I know I'm about an hour and a half late compared to what I said I was going to be here at, but that's all good. That's what you can watch the replay for. Delicious coffee. And actually, I've got some dark chocolate covered coffee beans. Them's real good. Okay. See the chat. I want to see all messages, not top messages, because that is silly. I don't know why they do that. I just put this glove on, but I kind of need to blow my nose real quick. Sorry. What a riveting production here. Sorry, pardon me, excuse me. Anyways, on with the sinkers. Here we go. We're going to start with the old, by old I mean the new, brand new to me at least, 277-135. And we have the fresh watercolor here. As you can see, it's more of a green than the Ford blue. So, very nice. And the sizing die is 278. Because it's, more better. It's more optimal. Pardon me, excuse me. It's more better, optimal, way cooler. If your fishing sinkers are 1,000th over diameter of your rod. And I've never actually used this die, so I'm going to run a Q-tip or paper towel or something through it. Make sure there's no boogers stuck up in there, because I'm pretty sure I saw something stuck up in there. So let me grab a paper towel. Okay. And we're just going to run it through here. Make sure there's no Nothing gonna be gunking up our sinkers, because you want them all as consistent as possible. There it goes. I don't know if you heard, I blew through it and then a chunk of something hit something over there. Cool. 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 So, anybody doing anything fun for the holiday coming up? What do y'all got going on? All right, that should be just fine. Make sure your ram is in the raised position, and then we gotta bring the die down into her. That'll ensure you get a full pass through. And I strongly dislike the new style lock rings that, it's just not the old octagon shape or whatever. The new shape's kind of annoying. Oh. How much can we do? We'll stop there. Anyways, hey, look at these fellers. Aren't these nice? I weighed a few earlier and they were within a half a grade of 135. Let's try again. 135.9. 136.3. That one's a little heavy. 135.5. So all of them are within 0.8 so far. 136.1. That's right in that same window. And 136.7. So that one was the heaviest. Still only a 0.9 swing. So that's pretty consistent. Just for using some range scrap. And let's check a few of these and see if we don't need to lube them up. We'll see how nicely they glide on through here. Sometime a little spritz with the lanolin spray never hurts anything. And I would say that looks mighty fine. And these were already, like 277, 278. So we're really just kind of evening out the powder coating on the sides there. Not sure if that one also went through, so we'll just run them again. Better safe than sorry. Having skipped one or something, don't want to do that. Yeah, these are looking good, looking good. And we'll get the lid on there, and then we'll move this sizer and put this up here so it's a little closer, and I have a little better range of motion set up. You know what I'm saying? And we'll just knock these out real quick. Pardon me. Should grab some water because coffee dehydrates you. Dries my throat out. Oh yeah. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, these are working just fine. They feel nice and smooth. Which is good. Sometimes if you have a tight fit or a couple coats of powder coating or some of the no lube groove styles, or some of them, just some of the powder coats that get on there really thick, they don't feel as smooth, and they can actually, you know, uncover a spot and get it down to the bare lead if it sizes it incorrectly. But this should be enough here to work with the 270. Get some preliminary data, you know. I'll probably just start with the load, the red dot load, and then take it to the lake out back, and we'll do some fly fishing with these here nice sinkers. And the old Ruger M77 was one of Dad's deer guns. It's got a 2 to 7 power Leopold on it, which is pretty interesting. Very interesting. It's just an old school hunting style scope with a really thick crosshair in it. You know, meant for just stalking around the woods. Do a quick pull up and shoot kind of thing if you have to. And only going up to 7 power. You're not looking at any kind of extreme distances. But if you have to reach out to 1, 2, 3, maybe 400 yards, I'm not sure. I'm sure the 270 is more than capable of a 400-yard shot. But I don't know about with a 7 power and a really thick reticle. I wonder if I could send that into Leopold and they could refurbish it or clean it up or something. Not that it doesn't work. You could just use some TLC, you know. Wish I had some sort of counter on here. Pull the lever and the number goes up. And you know how many sinkers you have. How many times you can cast your rod. Especially when you can do, you know, 4 or 5 at a time. They go just about as quick as you can make them. And then when you have friends over, you know, don't even think about it. They'll go even faster. They'll go even faster. Even though these are lead, though, so they won't be going as fast as like some kind of jacketed sinker. But we could still hit 18 to 2,000 pretty comfortably. Oh, this tripod's sucky. Not like I can actually show you guys. Would you rather just stare at, you know, watch me grab from the box, or do you want to stare at the empty brass? Or you can go get on Twitch and watch the whole dang thing. How about that? Yeah, this will just be a really exciting arm stream here. Ooh, come back a little. Come back just a hair. Yeah, I guess that'll have to do here on YouTube. Because, you know, they're not always fair with their sports. So I'm just a fisherman playing with sinkers. And if you missed the powder coating one, as you can see, we've got a bluer kind and a sort of green turquoise. That one's the freshwater sinker. And then the more blue one, That's our saltwater sinker. So I like to always have different, not different batches, but different color identifiers for different situations. So on and so forth and whatnot and who now. But as you can see, this doesn't take hardly any time. Not hardly any time at all. It still does take time, but compared to buying this many sinkers, especially in the 277 flavor, my savings here are huge mongus. And we can use the LPPs instead of the LRPs since we're dealing with lead instead of a jacket. So I think we're going to be in a good spot here. Obviously this is maybe, I don't want to say 300 of them. Whoopsie. But definitely, oh yeah, definitely a good quantity. And I like that it's got a flat base, wide nose. Nothing too special, nothing fancy. It's not a long, it's not one of the new fancy technologically advanced. It's just a classic get her done type of thing, you know? Which is good because I have these other ones here that have 2 or 3 130s to try, and then I've got, I think, 3 140s to try. So this 135 right there in the middle should be interesting. Especially because we're only going to be doing probably 1800 will be my goal. Probably 1800, which should be pretty easily achievable with either red dot or unique or 700X or 4227 or definitely some 2400. Ooh. Now I'm getting kind of excited. I want to go and pull out the old cast sinker handbook and look at some of those old recipes. I want to look at some of them old recipes. Sorry, I'm trying to see if anyone's saying anything on the Twitchers, because I've got it running on the desktop there. Which we can turn into a VOD. Maybe I'll, instead of doing on the replay channel, instead of doing 3 uploads, well, the replay channel will have the 3 full episodes or streams from today. But then on this channel here, the main dummy round, I think I'll do kind of a throw it together highlight reel from the casting and then to the powder coating and then now to finally the sizing. Except I canceled my Adobe subscription because they have a shitty predatory subscription model, and thankfully I've been doing it for over a year so I can cancel, but I don't like shitty asshole companies like that, even though I'm using YouTube. That's funny, right? Anyways, I have to whip out my old software. I think it was called Shotcut. And I totally forget how to use it. So I'm gonna have to relearn. So that'll be fun. And I wouldn't plan on that being out too soon. Maybe I'll be able to work on it this week after work, I guess, maybe. A little bit each time after work each day. There. Yeah, still too many. Oh god. I just dropped them. Sorry, I don't know what to do with my hands. It's getting hard to grab them out of there, but I obviously can't hold them all at once. There. Oh yeah, there we go. Just a few more here and we'll be about done with the 277s. But we have approximately, I want to say, 3 times more of these 35695s coming up. So that will take a little while longer. And I need some new containers to store all these in. Probably just use a Ziploc for now. Probably just use a Ziploc for now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to download the stream from the phones and from Twitch. So that'll be 6 videos to sync up and then chop up and whatever for a sick highlight reel. So that could be pretty fun. Except the first one, or I don't know, they both, the first and second one probably from the laptop on Twitch probably look like they're running on a potato. Ooh, look at that. And it was running at like 2 frames a second or something. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Let's check out their final size on these nice sinkers here. Mr. Kenneth, how are we doing this evening? Good to see you back again, sir. Round 3. Sorry, I'm like 2 hours late. You know, I said midnight, but it was 1:30 when we finally got going. Look at that, 277 on the dot. Whoop. No, sorry, 278. Math is hard. I'm pretty sure for whatever reason, this set of calipers are cursed, and they're 1,000th under. So whatever it is, add 1,000th, and that's your real number. At least as far as when I measure my cast bullets. Had to restart Twitch to talk. That's weird. Are you on like your phone app, or you got a browser window open, or what are you running? Oh, do we have a baggie here? Nice. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I meant to get the laptop set up over here so I can see the chat for Twitch, because that's way behind me on the desktop, out of sight, so it's hard to see. Oh man, look at that, it's beautiful. From start to finish all in one day, that's a good feeling. But now we still have 3 times the work to do here on the little guys. Apparently my zipper's inside out or something on your phone app. I haven't used. Did it play ads for you when you opened up my stream on Twitch or YouTube? Did you see ads there? Because I really hate using Twitch. They play like a minute or two of pre-roll ads that you cannot skip. And I don't know if they do that on channels that aren't affiliates or monetized or whatever. Because it seems like they slide it in everywhere and it's annoying. So I'm sorry if you got stuck with that. I wish they were at least skippable. At least, oh, shoot, there were two more in the die there, huh? If they were skippable, it wouldn't be so bad, but they're not. So it's bad, man. That's annoying. So that's interesting that usually my range scrap alloy is heavier compared to what it says it should weigh. But these were pretty much within 1 grain of the prescribed weight. And I think these were maybe a little bit heavier. You didn't see any advertisements. Okay, well that's good. Because Twitch is really annoying with it. I mean, YouTube's really annoying with it too. So this should be 95 grains. We're at 96.4. 96.4. Oh, nice. 96.7. 96.9. 96.7. Holy crap, these were all within, what is that, 5/10? That's pretty accurate or something. Well, not accurate, consistent. Mr. Thorzax, how are you doing? Mr. Dave, welcome back. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. So yeah, we gotta get this out. 356. Should probably clean him out too, just to make sure. Don't want to be running any gunk up in there. But this die is not new, so it shouldn't be anything stuck up in there like a chunk of steel from the machining process. Oh yeah, yeah. So Mr. Thorzax, we just finished up the 277s, and I'll tell you what, those look good to me, brother. I don't know what kind of data to use. I do have the old Lyman 3rd edition cast book, so that should be fun. That's one of my favorite casting resources for these here sinkers, that is. Alrighty, we're gonna run a few of these and see how smooth they are. See how they feel. They're real tiny too. Oh yeah, that was smooth. There's not a ton of bearing surface on these. Let me weigh it. Let me measure a few of them before. We're at about 357 with powder coating, which sounds right. It usually adds about 1,000th. 357 to 359, depending on where the glob is at. And then we'll run those through, and they'll be hopefully 356. Were you around earlier, Mr. Thor? Have you loaded these up? The 356.95. Was it you that said you like them in 380? Or someone else? Oh, okay. Got a few about popping out there. We'll check these diameters. And like I said, I'm pretty sure these calipers are always a thousandth short no matter what I do. Because it's right on 355 and I know that die is 356. I'm going to call it good. And even if they are 355, I feel like it would still feel like they would still obturate and fire properly. Yeah. Anyways. Very nice. Very smooth. The smoothest you've ever seen. You've never seen anything smoother before. There's never been anything like it. The likes of the smoothness during the sizing process. You've never experienced anything like it. You were out for a bit. Well, welcome back. I know you're on the, you're out west, so it's just after midnight for you. Oh no, -1. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, found it. Don't want the dog grabbing it. She'll freaking eat anything. She eats my earplugs, and then you see bright orange stuff come up in the yard. That's funny. That's funny. Whoopsie. I feel like these are gonna not have any issues feeding, even though they are quite a very flat point. Yep, just after midnight. Well, good to see you. Welcome back. Did I already ask you what you were reloading lately? Or sorry, done any fishing lately? Make any cool sinkers here? During our powder coating stream, we did, you can see this one's more of a blue. So that one's our saltwater sinker. This one's more of a green, so that's our freshwater sinker. And we don't want to drop them from too far up because we might bruise the sinkers. You can't have any of that, so that's why we got to run them through the sizer to uniform them so they fly more straighter. Testing is the only way to go. You, sir, are correct. Dang it, holy moly. Maybe I should only hold one at a time. Seems like I'm only capable of holding one at a time. Yes, I agree. Casting is pretty much the only way to go. Although I did cave in and I bought some actual jacketed projectiles so I can load up some real 308 rounds at the proper specifications. Found a good deal on a bunch of 150 grain soft point sinkers in the 30 caliber flavor. They also have a flat base, more of a traditional Spitzer style, reminiscent of the Sierra profile, if you've ever seen that one. But I don't know how it actually flies or who really actually made it. Because we got that from AR when they were having the Black Friday sale. And then 2 days later, they dropped the price again by 2 cents a piece. So that was pretty significant on the quantity I bought. So that kind of meh, right? Oh well, sucker got me, didn't they? That'll teach him. No, anyways, it was still a good deal. I'm not upset. It is what it is, but now I have some jacketed food. About 2 years back, I had surgery on your shoulder. Been laid up since then, recovering. All the stuff we used to do is on hold. I feel like I remember you saying that. I'm sorry, sir. I hope you have a more swift recovery. And good luck to you. Probably give you plenty of time to ponder about different loads and methods and things to play with. I still need to, maybe after we finish sizing these, we can look at some of that 270 data. Because I do want to find something for these guys here. Ooh. So maybe I'll get the old Lyman book. Even though you're talking about a jacketed load. I don't know if I have a manual from way back when. Maybe the Lee book has something. They usually have a pretty wide listing. But I feel like at some point in history, they went, 4064 is way too fast burning for the 270 with the bullet right in the exact range the cartridge was created for. So I don't know. I don't know. Also, 130 grain out of 270. What was the velocity? What was that target velocity that makes that round and cartridge combination just really shine? Let me see here. I only have H4831, and my projected speed for a 130 Nosler ballistic tip, max charge only goes up to 3019. Was jacketed data I gave you? I thought so. Yeah, thank you, sir. Do you remember what velocity you were doing when you said 49 and a half? So I'm just thinking 130 grains at 3,000. That's taking care of business, right? That should do the trick. Should definitely do the trick. But I haven't ran the numbers and looked at energy or the drops or anything like that. But I'm thinking if it's any slower than 3,000, I feel like you could just run a 308 with 150 grains doing 2,800. And they would probably be ballistically identical to the 277. The 277 diameter sinker. 4350, 4320. When was that one discontinued? When was that one discontinued? Because I've seen it in all the manuals, but it was always discontinued since I started loading. Was that like 2010 or something? They must have cut that one off or something around there. Maybe in the 2000s. 4831, all great powders for 270. However, 4064 was the most accurate load. Were you using Hodgdon or IMR 4350 and 4831? Because I have Hodgdon 4831. And I don't think they're identical. I think they're a little different in their burning rate characteristics. Don't remember what the velocity was. That's okay, I wouldn't either. As long as it groups where you want it to and performs how you want it to, who cares how quick we're going? And really, if you did the numbers and the math and looked at a drop chart, if you go way out to like, 5, 6, 800,000 yards where it starts to matter, adding 100 feet of velocity, or wherever you think your piston hot hand loads need to be. You're only making up for maybe an inch or two of drop out at those extended distances. So as long as you know what speed you're moving, then you just either click your turret 1/10 further, or you just hold that much higher. So to me, hitting that top velocity, the highest book maximum charge, I don't care at all about that. As long as I know what it's doing, and you can calculate what it's doing at the distance you want it to do stuff at. Then I'll settle for 50 to 100 feet less. It was H4831. Okay, so follow-up question. There's 4831. Sorry, there's H4831, and then there's H4831 shortcut. That's the same powder, but with literally physically shorter kernels, shorter cut kernels, so you can potentially load more into the case. Is that correct? Because the data I use, they were compressed load. Here I have a handful of them. They look mighty fine, except these boxes I have are too short. And these are at about 1/1000th from jamming into the lands. 110 grain Hornady hollow point that's discontinued. Compressed load. Barnes 120 TSX. Compressed load. Nosler 130 ballistic tip. Compressed load. Spear 130 soft point. Compressed load, and those are less than a max. I think a grain less than the maximum. So yeah, that's a very bulky powder, so having a shortcut, I could probably get to the max charge without having to compress so hard. But like I just said before that, I don't care about the maximum charge if it shoots well. There's 4831, and then shortcut, they are the same. That's cool. 4320 is discontinued. However, I snapped up an 8-pound jug of it. Works fantastic in your 7.5 by 55. Ooh, what diameter is that? 762 is obviously roughly 308 or 310 or somewhere in there. So 7.5. It's more than 284 because that's 7. What is it, like 300 or 290? That's an interesting diameter. That's interesting. But that's also very cool. What is that, a Mauser? 7.5 by 55. Is that the Swedish Mauser? Oh yeah, definitely about 3 times more of these. It's 308, you use 30 cal bullets. Interesting. Huh. So 762 by 51, that must obviously be a shorter case than a by 55. Huh. So you can basically 308 plus P, because the 30-06 is 61 or 63 millimeters in length, I believe. That one's 762 by 63. I think. I could be wrong. Oh. So that's pretty cool. The Swiss K31. Okay. See, I've heard of those things on the internet. I've heard of that number combination as a sinker weight. Yep, it's a great cartridge. So you've got 308 plus P. So you can get maybe a grain more powder in there. Huh. Oh, might be time to empty this. Yeah, let's transfer that before we knock it over. Sounds like a lot of fun. We'll just use that bottom container for the sized ones. Oh, yeah. So did you used to do like service rifle? Is that what they call it? Like military, basically military cartridges? Is that what the competition was? Sorry, I'm essentially ignorant on pretty much all that stuff. I just blast around at my backyard. Just blast around in my backyard. I do want a shot timer though, because sometimes it's fun to go fast. 168 grain at 2700. Okay, that's pretty good. I think my 308s are doing 2650. I think that's the spec. And then my 175s are only at 2550. I believe that's the... Oh, service rifle is the M1s, M1As, and AR-15s. I really need to play around with my M1A a whole lot more than I do. I have plenty of ammo loaded, but I suck with iron sights, and like I said, I'm in my backyard, and I only really have like roughly 50 yards for fishing activities. So using 308 is pretty much, it's just stupid. Essentially, it's a waste of money and it's stupid. So I don't ever really get to use the M1A a whole lot. I think I've done one mag dump this year with it. Matches shot out to 600 yards. See, that's freaking awesome. I would love to do that. Is that offhand, or you get to lay prone, or you have changed positions? How does that work? Are they're different stages? Or you use a different gun at different ranges or different stages? Or you have one gun to do the whole competition? The local range that I'm a member of has several smaller matches like that throughout the year, like Milsurp only through whatever time periods, or bolt action only with whatever magazine capacity, or rimfire, or whatever. But we only go out to 300 yards. And I've only really done that a handful of times with the 308, so I don't have hardly any experience shooting past 300. Although I have shot to 820 something, whatever Fort Campbell, whatever their range goes out to. And that was with my buddy's 6.5 Creedmoor. Pretty much, that was pretty much cheating when you walk out to each target and just, oh, it's another 100 yards? Okay. And I guess it's not only the Sig 5 Creedmoor, but pretty much most of your popular center fire rifles. As you go out to about 400 yards, that's where you're going to hold on your BDC or your MOAs or whatever. So you go up one MOA to from 100 to 200. You go up 2 from 2 to 3 or whatever. And so out at 400 yards, they're only holding like 4 MOA or something like that. I forget the math or the silly little trick because, oh, we got him stuck. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know the trick because I don't really get to shoot out that far that often. So standing, sitting at 200 prone, 300 prone, 600. Yeah. With open sights. Man, I would not be good at that. I would not be good at that. Although I really enjoy shooting my A2 style AR with the iron sights on that. It's just a really smooth shooter. Feels nice and it points real good. But again, I'm only out to like 50 to 100 yards out here, so it's pretty much just hold in the center and pull the trigger on your fishing rod, right? Because we're still talking about sinkers here, YouTube. Still sinking. Talking about the lake in the backyard. Oh. Haven't done this in a while. Started from casting and then coat and then size everything. Do it all in one day. That's pretty fun. Accomplishing. Probably 6 to 7 hours total. Oh God, jeez. Oh man, what a mess. Got another one over here. Sorry. Yeah, so 120-pound pot. Is approximately, I'm going to say, for the 95 grains, I think it came out to 1,500 sinkers. But they're obviously not all that. Got some of those 135 277s. But if there's 3 times more of these and one of those, then that means I could probably do some math and figure it out, but I'm going to say at least 1,000 of these. At least 1,000 of these guys. Which I've been needing to do some 9mm loading. So then maybe 200 to 250 to 300 of these. Yay. Hooray. For YouTube, that's code for different fishing rods. That is correct. You, sir, are absolutely correct. Does anybody have any recommendations on their favorite powder? Ooh, got them stuck. But they come right off. I'm thinking about using probably 244. I'm really enjoying that powder. But I might need to get something faster burning because this is a very light projectile. sinker. Sorry, it's a very light sinker. But I'm sure a nice full load of the 244 probably worked just fine. But I've never loaded something this light for the Niner. I've done the 105 semi wad cutter before, but not a 95 grain. And also, during the Black Friday madness, I got some 90, I think 92 grain of the Interceptor. Jesus, every time, dude. Oh, you think you would learn after the first 6 times spilling stuff, but no. Anyways, I've got some 90-ish, 92 grain Interceptor ARX frangible pew-pews to play with. But they're the size of a 147 piece of lead, so they take up a lot more case capacity. So I can't just use the same data that I would for something made out of lead that weighs like 40% heavier, whatever the math happens to do. Well, so basically two different setups for one weight. It's kind of a similar design though, but it's a much longer nose, but still a flat point. I'll have to whip them out here after we get these finished. But if anyone has any recommendations on their favorite propellant for light 9mm, other than Tight Group, let me know. I'm sure Red Dot or Unique would do good. 700X would do well. Do real good, like, no, it would do well. I'm trying to think of the faster burning powders I have. I have some Clean Shot, maybe that would do well. It's supposedly similar to Tight Group. Number 2 maybe would be a good fast burning one. Number 5, a little slower burning. I've found it to be really dirty in the past, so I don't know. I'm not quite a fan of number 5. But I did find a good load for the 12 gauge for the Lee 7/8 ounce slugs. It's like 40 something grains at number 5. Pretty crazy. So you think about going from 5 grains in a 9mm to 40 grains in a 12 gauge. That's quite a difference, and your pistol powder suddenly goes bye-bye really quickly. Maybe we'll just have to explore some data here in a minute when I finish these. And then we can compare the this cast example to the copper polymer matrix Interceptor frangible. 9mm number 7 or HS6 is all you use. I don't have either of those. Dang it, man. And unfortunately, even the pistol powders are $40 to $45, $50 a pound these days. So I'm not as open to just buy a bunch of different powders anymore these days. Especially when, as I get more experienced, I guess, as a loader, and you learn about how different powders work, and you see different loads, how they're capable outside of what the manufacturers list their capabilities as. So part of the fun for me is making the stuff that I have on hand work and perform just as you would expect, even though the manufacturer didn't try to sell it to you like that. Because I say this a lot, but they're far more versatile than the load data says. Far more versatile than the load data suggests. But of course, they want to keep you really safe, which is fine. Obviously, don't ever use my load data. I'm not a very good fisherman, you know. I'm just a dummy over here on the internets. I'm just a dummy on the internets. Ooh. You're in the same boat as far as not wanting to try new stuff for $50 a piece. Yeah, it's past the point of you go to pay to play, or whatever people say when stuff increase in cost. You just suck it up and deal with it. We're past that. That was like 2 or 3 years ago, and now it's just like getting old, and it's about to flip. There's already people that got into loading, and they're already getting out and selling all the crap they just stockpiled over the past few years because they either don't have the time or they're okay with where the price of a case of 9mm CCI Blazer is at this time. Oopsie. When I competed in Bullseye Outdoor Pistol, I went through thousands of rounds a year. Well, that's good. Oh. I feel like I shoot a lot compared to pretty much everybody I know personally, like in person. But I know that I really don't shoot that much. Obviously, there's people that compete like yourself, and they shoot a lot. I did, however, but I've been playing with the CMMG 22LR conversion kit. That thing is super fun when you find an ammo that it'll work with. And once you realize that you can't load all 25 in the magazine, and if you start with 20 or less, it'll work just fine. So those are starting to break in, but still can't fully load them. But that thing is really fun to work on your, target acquisition. Draw up real quick, cast your rod, maybe do a quick double rod, click and twist at the same time, and then switch to the other guy further out and throw your rod again. That's what I want a timer for, to try and do that kind of stuff and get faster at it. Because I can do it. And I can feel when it was a good one, or when I screwed up on a rep, or pulled to the side, or came up, at the wrong angle. I can tell when I do those things, but I can't tell, how quickly I'm going if you compare a bunch of good runs together, So it's hard to improve if you don't know where you stand. So a timer would be really fun for that. One of my other favorite drills is to work on your reloading, to where you have one magazine with one round in it, and then you have your second magazine totally topped off and full, which of course is only 10 because we don't do extenders and high capacity things like that. Those are scary. So with your fully loaded 10 rounder, you have that ready to reload. You have your 1 mag with 1 round loaded. You start hot or whatever, and then the drill is, timer goes off, target acquisition, fire once, reload. You put the new mag in, close the slide, it has a round, you take your second shot. Drill's over. Go to safety, take out your full mag -1, put in the empty mag, and now it's exactly like when you restart. So, like I said, you start with the 1 mag with 1 round. Now you have the one that was in, plus your empty mag. You can restart the drill. That's really fun. So, fire, reload, fire, safe, switch mags, restart. Yes, sir? Those are fun. Anyways, I want to get a timer here one of these days. Long story short, I'm sure that drill has a name, but I don't know what it is, right? Ooh. Josh Freaks, what up, brother? Mr. Videos, Mr. Axe. Hope you get better and back to doing videos soon. Yeah, me too. I think we all do. Ooh. I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but I grew up watching Mr. Thor's Axe videos. Didn't you have one? Didn't you do a lead shot dripper at one point? I think I saw that way before I started doing shotgun stuff. But I always thought that was freaking sweet. Oh yeah, look at all of our sinkers. Oh yeah. There's our freshwater and our saltwater sinker there, the blue one. I know it's subtle, but you got to have these differences sorted out before you get out there in the field. So what should we do? Should we look at some load data here? It is getting late, so I'll probably wrap it up here sooner than later, but not quite yet. I want to look at some load data, and we'll take a look at those frangible. Come on now. Take a look at those frangible guys too. Come on. Whatever, just, nope. What if I turn it over? Freaking dummy. The trick is you got to get a portion of it caught, so when you close it, it's tight since the plastic stretches out over time. What an idiot. When you have a shot maker, the sky is the limit on production of rounds. Man, see, that's what I always thought. Like, obviously we can cast slugs and we can make buckshot and we can obviously make any sinkers we want. But if you can't make the shot, the bird shot, you know, I don't know, man. Seems like you're missing out on most of what a shotgun can do. Not most, but a large window of shotgun's capabilities, right? All right, let me find one of these interceptors here. A little sip of water. Scusi. So wet. I love it. All right, where did I put that? Okay, good thing they put my address on here, so let's not dox myself. let's not dox ourselves here and whip out the frangibles. So look at these suckers. Look how big that is. It's only 92 grains. It's only 92 grains. That one says 89.7. Let me zero this out. It's moving all over. 0. $90 exactly. So this one is 90. This one's 95. Obviously, one's going to take up a little bit more of that case. Although it does look like the nose profile is very similar. I might be able to use the same overall length so they fit in the magazine the same. Nice. But yeah, these are like a tungsten, copper, polymer, compressed, injection molded, frangible thing that pops into dust when it hits stuff. But those were $47 delivered, I think. And I didn't have anything cast up, so now I feel silly doing that, but it was a pretty good price. They should shoot just fine. I believe powder coating is the way to go if you have time. It's effective and easy to do. However, it does take time. Yeah, so I think we're at maybe 7 to 8 hours today working on this. You know, obviously as a one person, it'll do just fine. But it does take time. And obviously, this is why people use high-tech coating if they're doing very large bulk or commercial operations. But I much prefer powder coating. Look at that. Don't that pretty? Yep. But anyways, I have to find data and work up functioning loads for 2 bullets of the same, 2 sinkers of the same weight with drastically different profiles. So that'll be really fun. That'll be really, really fun. Has anybody tried any of these before or anything like it? I've used the 50 grainers in 223. And those are roughly the size of a 77 grain match screen. They work just fine for my distances and purposes and all that. There we go. Yeah. Use my stars. I can size and lube 1K in 40 minutes. Tight group works for Josh. Do you cast, Mr. Josh, or were you referring to the frangible? Because tight group will screw up your powder coating if left for any amount of the time. They are production machines. Yeah, I've heard those star sizers are freaking awesome. I should just go, you know, full taco and get his Magnum melter with the 5 molds that just constantly turn them out. Ding, 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 as long as you step on the pedal. That would be wicked awesome. It would be really cool to have one of those with like 5 different molds set up. So you could always just have your top favorites in production. That would be sweet. But also, yeah, this is funny. I need a proper box. But this says it works for the 270 here. Actually, I'm silly. it follows it with WSM. Ha! I bought the wrong boxes. See, look how wide these holes are. Those are for WSM cases. 270 WSM, not 270 WIN. For the cast, don't notice a difference when fired. I have noticed the powder coat gets gummy. Yeah, see, it's not a debate, but a discussion that a few of us have been going on about for a while. But, you know, when it's loaded in the case, only the base is in contact with the powder. So if it's gummy and it's not on the surface, the bearing surface, does it even matter? Does it matter if it's gummy anyways? Like, does it freaking matter at all? Obviously, there is a reaction, but if it's not touching any part of anything that's not going to affect it, does it matter? What could matter is if the reaction with this deteriorates the actual tight group itself. So does that reaction break down the nitrocellulose or anything and weaken it? Or does it add anything and work as a further propellant and raise pressures or something crazy silly? I don't know, man. Science. I don't know nothing about it. I'm just a dummy on the internet. Just a dummy on the internet. So I have used, I mean, I do like tight group. I used it a lot when I was shooting Barry's bullets when I first started loading before I cast. But what grain weight were you shooting with tight group? Because I do like it. Well, hey, thanks, Mr. Thor. Yeah, I'm not always going for pacing hot, super maximum shoot at a mile, but I just want it to do what I need it to do in the small distance I have to do that in. So, yeah, I'm not asking a whole lot, but it's fun, and I can shoot a whole lot more for the amount of input that goes into it monetarily. Like, yeah, it took a whole Saturday, but this probably saved me $200 in, you know, shipping, taxes, and buying the stuff. If I were to buy jacketed, you know, those are 10 cents a pop. That's $100. 200 to 300, 277 bullets. That stuff's expensive. It's not the most popular center fire, you know, so we're probably looking 30 to 50 cents a piece. So I wasted a whole Saturday, right? But to me, it was fun, enjoyable, and that's what I got, right? And you enjoy doing it. Yes, sir. That's the main point. I had a pretty good time today. I'm not even gonna lie. Not even gonna lie. Bonk. Okay, let's see what kind of data. Look at all this crap just piled up everywhere. What a mess. First thing I wanted to see was 130 grain, 270 with IMR 4064. Holy it's right there. Ooh, man. Old Jack was pushing those hot. I guess I didn't even look in the Lee manual. 4064 with the 130s. He starts at, well, Lee starts at 43, Max is at 47.5. And you said O'Connor went to 49.5. I bet that would hit 3,000. Yep. I'm sure with maybe the lots of powder he had at that time might have been slower burning. So that might not have been at the 62,500 PSI. Intriguing. Well, I'm a liar. I said that the Hodgdon website doesn't list it for anything higher than a 110 gram. So I guess I didn't check the Lee manual. So that's fun. Anyways, let's find some 9mm. Pistols come first. 38 special. Oh, does anybody also, while we're looking at pistol stuff, does anybody have just lost my train of thought. A 357 Magnum 125 grain load. All right, 9mm, 115, 95 jacketed, 90 XTP, 90 Barnes solid, 100 grain jacketed. Let's just start here in the middle at 95 grain jacketed, I suppose. Tight group says 4.7 to 5. All right. Josh is liking 3.8 of tight group with the Lee 124. That sounds about, I think I was using that when I was shooting the Barry's 124s. 3 point something. 3 point something. You remind me of oh, that's pretty cool. He you could say was a sort of inspiration. It was a one-hole shooter at 49.5. I might have to try it, but now that I saw it in the book, it seems a little over the book max. So maybe over time, like I said, the manufacturer lowered those pressures to make it more safer, whatever. 16.5 of 2400 for the 357 mag, and that was a 125 grain load. I might need to try that one. Mr. Sage of the 16, welcome back, sir. Yes, we are still going. I fell asleep on the couch and took a nap, and then I had a cup of coffee, and now we are back. Just about to finish up, actually. We got everything sized. All of our sinkers are sized properly. And now we're just staring at data because I have to figure out what to load those with, and then go and test fire like 10 of them. And then... yeah, do the same with about 15 other loads I need to work on. So welcome back. Good to see you. What are you still doing up, sir? What else do we have? We can use long shot. That's one of my favorites, but I need to save it for my 12 gauge loads. Because once again, shit's $50 a pound. Tight group, we said 4.7 to 5. That might be a good one. Universal out of production currently. 231 I do not have, but historically it's supposed to be a very good cast powder. SR7625. That's another older discontinued one. And IMR 700X is technically Hodgdon 700X these days, but they are rocking 4.1 to 4.5. Up to 1,224 feet per second. And I have a lot of 700X. I really enjoy that powder. Perhaps I might try 700X. But like I said, I was wanting to try out the Winchester 244 because it's a nice ball powder and it'll work better in the Dillon. If we go to 90 grain stuff, let's see what else we have. More long shot. Silhouette data goes up to 6.9 grains. Almost at 1,400 feet per second. Whoa. But that's obviously a plus P load, almost 35,000 PSI. Auto Comp, I hear, is a really good one. But never tried it. Accurate number 2, we could try that. 4.8 to 5.4, almost hitting 1,300. Mr. MCK, what is up, brother? Happy Saturday evening, Sunday morning, whatever you got going on. How you doing? Good to see you. HP 38 is the same as 231. I've heard that before. I have absolutely heard that before. There's a few of them, like H110 and 296 are supposedly identical. More tight group recommendations there. Accurate number 2, Ramshot Zip. Never tried that one, but it's really fast burning on the burn rate chart. I do have a really old can, like a half a pound of N310. It's probably 30 years old. Not sure if I want to break into that. I think that's the fastest powder I have, actually. That's like number 1 or 2, even faster than Bullseye. Yeah, I'm not loading these tonight, but I'm just checking out some data here. And then if we look at the solid Barnes, that one's going to be a physically longer projectile, so it'll take up more space like that frangible one would. So hopefully they took that into consideration here with less case capacity. And they list up to 8 grains of accurate number 7. Holy crap, that's got to be a full case. Intriguing. Silhouette, top velocity 1281 at just under 35,000 psi. Yeah, these are all definitely plus P loads here for the Barnes. Don't want to use those. Could probably use the starting charges though. More sources required. Let's look for an actual casting book. Keep smashing my calipers. That'll be good for their accuracy. Or is it precision? I'm kind of a dummy, so I confuse those two. Here's my favorite book. Well, one of my 2 favorite books. One of 2. This is the Lyman 3rd edition without a cover. Look at this. It's old. And what am I looking for? 9 mil. There was 1 page on the Mosin here. Unfortunately, most of these projectiles don't exist anymore, or the molds that they list. But you can still get a good idea with the weight, you know what I'm saying? 9 mil Luger. This is probably a very short selection. Yeah, you can see the heaviest is a 121 grain. Yeah, there's only 3 loads here. 92. Ooh, I can probably use that. 700X. Bullseye, red dot, green dot, unique. 630. What in the hell powder is 630? This third one here. We got AL5, never heard of it. HS5. That must be HS6's younger brother. Or older brother. Whichever. 5 comes before 6. Derp. And then 630. What the hell is 630? And then these SR powders. Never seen those on the market. Those must have been discontinued 30 years ago. PB. I think that's out of production or just currently discontinued. And then 700X. That stuff's been around as long as dirt. I love me some 700X. So they say 4.1 to 5.1 grains. I can't remember what Lee listed. I think they stopped at 4.8 maybe. Okay. Not a lot of data there to go with. But here is the newer 4th edition. A little more recent. There's rifle crap. And, oopsie, pistolas. 700X is some good stuff. I rather quite enjoy it. I was able to find it a lot during the beginning of the pandemic. All right, so we got 90 grain here, and then it jumps up to 102. All right, again, 700X, they're listing 4.1 to 5.1. But yeah, 700X, it's a little dirty, and it kind of doesn't meter perfectly. So if you're okay being plus or minus a tenth, it works just fine. It's very economical. A little bit goes a long way. So they list Red Dot 700X Bullseye is their accuracy load. Tight Group at the top of the list there. 231 Zip. SR 7625. PB Green Dot N340. Does anybody have any experience with the Vihtavuori pistol powders? I really don't. Sure don't. Because I know they've got the 310, 320, 330, 340. And then they have 3N37, 3837, and maybe one or two more of those crazy ones that I don't know. Does anybody have any experience with that? So we could also try accurate number 5. That goes up to 7.4 grains. That will be a full case. Impossible to double charge. I know that's a quality some people look for. Unique 6.8 grains. Holy crap, that'll definitely be overflowing. Green Dot, impossible to find because Alliance owned by Vista and they just got sold to Ukrainian warlords. PB, also Alliant, I think. Maybe IMR. Who makes PB? Alliant PB, I think. Shotgun powder. And we got 120s, 120, 124, 125, 140, 147. Yeah. I'll probably have to check out the Hodgdon site and find some data for 244 because I'm really liking that. But I'm down to a partial can and I want to just get it out of my get it out of the locker and out of the way. So I'm trying to use it up. And then I'll probably end up buying a large when I run out of all the other powders I have too. Oh yeah, let's see if there's any 270 cast loads in this really old book. Now that we can do that. The 7 Sharp and Heart. The 65 Italian. 65 Swedish Mausers. 270. Look, we have one load here. 3 loads. Heck yeah. And once again, fast pistol burning powders all the way down to 748, 3031, reloader 7. Those are real rifle powders. Wow. Holy crap, 49 grains of 748. Almost 45,000 PSI. I feel like that you're going to want to be probably gas checked and at least wheel weights quenched at like 20 BHN to be running that kind of pressure. That seems really high. Even though it is a CUP, which is a different measurement than PSI, that seems quite up there. Whereas I was just going to randomly throw 13 grains of Red Dot, which is considered the load. I think that was one of Harris's, Mr. Ed Harris's writings. But we got Red Dot 700X, Green Dot, PB Unique 7625, Herco. Yeah, half this crap isn't even made anymore, and I'm not paying $65 a pound for 3031. But we can definitely try Unique 700X and Red Dot. And then we could also probably extrapolate. Nope, same exact powders listed. And then the same thing over here on this 122. Same exact powders are listed here. I was hoping to find something for 4227. Because I have some of that I want to use up. And I've never found a really good load that I'm just like, oh yeah, we're loading up tons of 4227 now. So I got a few bottles of it, and I can't ever find a use for it. I'll probably just start with red dot though, because that was giving me really good luck in the 243. Really good luck in the 243. Actually, now that I just got my Vortex Diamondback scope back from Vortex from warranty work, I'm going to throw that bad boy back on the 243 and probably continue with some of that work we were doing. Because we were starting to find, this is with IMR 4064 also, a couple of 3-shot groups at 100 yards. There's 3 of them. This was just changing overall length. There's a 3-shot group. This one was a little opened up, but the one right before it also, 3 touching there. These are just changing the overall length with IMR 4064. But this is crazy. Look how wide this is. That's almost 1.5 inches. And then we go down to 0.4. Jump up to 0.55. And then back down to 0.4 again. And then over here, it opens up, but it's still a 0.8. I like the faster rifle powder for cast rifle, powder coated and gas checked. Interesting. So that's probably the stuff I was avoiding using. What else do we have? This is a pretty good target too. Nice. Just a different seating depth, 0.550. Here's a 0.35. So yeah, long story short, I got to put scope back on the 244 and continue working with this. I want to use Vihtavuori 135. I got a collection of that on hand, specifically for loads I really care about. But yeah, here was the red dot cast load. There's 10 shots at 50 yards with the RCBS 244.95, I think. And I think that might be 3/4 of an inch with the one flyer out there. So that's fun. I want to get back into the 243. Yeah. Yeah. You guys like the 243? Speaking of it, too, I'm just making a mess now, but if you saw the very first 243 video I did, that was like 1.5 hours long or something ridiculous. Oopsie. I shot some factory loads through that before I torqued the chassis down, or the crappy stock. It shot like butt, but I was purposely keeping 5 rounds of this to come back and test after I had shot a couple of 100 rounds. So hopefully we can see if the barrel sped up at all like it's supposed to after a few 100 rounds. So I'll have 5 of those rounds to test. Oh yeah, there we go. Almost 1 year ago, really. 50 degrees. Wow. Look at this extreme spread of 73. Gross. Oopsie. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, average 28.85 with the 100 grain PowerPoint. So we're going to test and see if the barrel actually sped up at all. So on and so forth. Someday I got to get the scope back on, and my yard's actually a mess right now. I've got a big pile of dirt in the way where I used to shoot, so need to work on that. But anyways, it's 3:24 in the morning, and we are rambling at this point. We've got all of our sinkers properly sized so we can go fly fishing with ease. Good stuff. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Good conversation. Good stuff going on. Hope you guys have a nice holiday season with the family and whatever. So stay safe and have a good one, guys. We'll see you in the next stream or video. Have a good one.